to Empower Hour. I have a special guest coming all the way from Chicago to visit us today. I'm honored to have him here today. So tell us your name.
My name is Corey Morrow, but on Instagram I go by Mr. underscore King 87.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what you do. I know I found you on Instagram through certain posts that I was drawn to. And they spoke on situations that I was going through, and I liked it, so I reposted it. And I'm sure I'm not the only person that has done that, and many other people could relate to your post.
Well, I do many things, but I love to motivate. I love to spread my wisdom. I do motivational speaking. I do life coaching. I'm a relationship coach. And I just love to spread wisdom to people that, they're in a blind place. I love to do to wake them up in their blindness.
Okay, so much like a therapist almost,
A therapist, but I go by life coach.
life coach.
Yeah.
So you help in different type of situations, down to a broken marriage, to a narcissistic relationship, maybe alcoholism, like drug addiction, all kinds of situations, right?
Yes, yes. It can be many of things. You could be a college student just trying to get through college, and you need motivation to get that master's degree. You could be in a toxic relationship with a guy, a narcissist that's holding you hostage, or being domestic. That I can help you, navigate through that to put you in a better situation.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. So, getting into more of that, because I was kind of in a situation similar to that, and I felt like my ex was very narcissistic, and I felt like I couldn't break away, but God willingly helped me break away. And I know some women don't have that mindset or that strong mind to do that on their own. So that's where you come into place, right? And coach them in regards to how to do it, and um, help and coach them into a better lifestyle. How does that work for you? Where do you find these girls from, or these men? Where do you get your clients from?
Where it all depends on the situation and who they are. But most of my clients come from social media: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Um, I've been, life coaching for over 12 years. So, my following has grew over those years, and a lot of people reach out to me for help. So, you can be someone that grew up without a father, that didn't teach you how to be a strong woman, and allow things to happen. Let these men run over you. Um, you know, like some women don't call the police on a man that's abusing them, or using them, or um, have them in a sexual place where they don't understand how to get out of it. Sexual soul tie. So reaching out to me, I kind of teach them the ropes. Almost like being a father figure or a big brother, um, teaching them what to do, how to move. And a lot of guys hate me for this, but it's to make them better, because it's teaching the women how to stand up for themselves and get out of those situations.
So I'm pretty sure you came across situations where the guy hated you enough to probably want to harm you or do something to you where your life is at risk as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, but I'm from Chicago, so I can hold my own. So there's been many a times where I flew out the country, or flew to different states: L.A., New York, New Jersey, where I'm at now. And some guys, I done came face to face with them. We have conversation, and they respect it because they can see where I'm from, and I let them know. She's moving on. She's going to a different place. This is toxic, and they respect it. I mean, they're mad about it. Some people couldn't fathom that would happen, but guys respect it because they can see in my eyes and where I'm from, and my knowledge. Because I'm letting them know: do you want to do the rest of your life in jail, and do you want to go to prison? Do you want to harm your children and mess their minds up by what you're doing to their mother? So I coach men too, but it's mostly women, because men are hard of listening. They're very unhumble. They don't like to listen. So, yeah.
So you do help men as well, correct?
Yes.
And most of your services, this could be done in person, and also it could be done by the phone or a video call.
Yes, I do over the phone sessions, hourly. I have monthly plans, and I also fly out to do in person sessions.
Oh, wow. Tell me one of the worst experience you had in all these years of work. Like, what's a situation that you could remember that you never forget for the rest of your life, that you were in a place where you felt like, wow, I'm in this place and it could be really harmful, or it's just a situation you remember for life because it was crazy?
Well, I can't say any names because
Not the names, but just the situation.
well, it was a case, maybe 10 years ago. A woman reached out to me in a different country where you know religion was banned. They didn't accept Christianity, and she was, I don't know if it was Muslim or some culture of that was very strict where women didn't have rights at the time, and if a woman was caught cheating or if she would do anything that was outside the man that she was with, they'll cut her neck off. And I flew out to that country, and I actually coached her up on that.
And then you're Black American in this country, that you're already at risk by going in there. So,
Yes, and I'm talking about Jesus. I'm talking about God, and so it was risky, but I stayed out there for about 2 months, coached her up, taught her how to save money because she didn't have too much money at the time. But I taught her how to make money, how to work, how to get money off of him, etc. And got her her cards, her visas, and everything put together. And I actually moved her to the States. She escaped from that situation with the guy.
you helped her get like asylum.
Well, she had to get her papers and the green cards and everything, where she was able to travel, to be able to travel outside that country.
Okay.
So I worked with her for a while, and I ended up moving her and her kids out of that place where she was at with the guy. That was a scary situation because if it would have went wrong, then I probably would have ended up dead. I mean, they kill women for going outside of what they have. So if they would have known that I was doing that, then it could have been my life.
So he never caught you guys like talking or saw you around her? Or because I mean, if he was so controlling, right?
Not in that situation because he thought he had control. Most of these guys think they have, they got the women wrapped around their finger, but he would force sex on her and make her beg for money and things like that. But he wasn't checking her phone because he would have never thought. So I was able to get her out of that situation. But in that situation, no, she didn't get caught. But there's been situations where I come face to face with men sometime,
Because they catch you, or they probably think you guys have a fling when in reality you're just there to coach her.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
could be that, right? Like
A lot of times, a lot of guys, around the world hate me because their women have left them because of my coaching. But I save marriages too. So when I'm coaching, I coach men, I coach couples. But if it's a toxic situation where this woman is not growing, I'm going to, use the word of God and use my experiences to get her out of that situation.
Yeah. So what made you get into this type of field and work? Like what pushed you to do that?
It's a couple of different things. To begin with, my father was a, Chicago legend. They call it the Greasy. It's Ford Heights. He was like, street guy. He sold drugs. He, player. He had all the women, jewelry, cars, houses. So I wanted to be like him. And so growing up, I was like him. And so I used to be the guy that I talk about and go against nowadays. But he died. And so when he died, a part of that died with me, and I wanted to do the opposite. So I wanted to help the people get out of the situations that I was in once my father died. And my mother was a pastor. She was a preacher. And as a kid, watching her stand up on that pulpit at a time when man was preaching and watching my mom do it, and she was going through my dad cheating on her and putting his hands on her, and she still was up there preaching. So me watching my mother, Dr. Shonda Evans, that was my biggest motivation. And that's why I help women mostly, because she was a woman advocate of abuse and things like that.
So you growing up saw your dad abusing her, and did you ever wanted to confront him about it? Like it doesn't have to be physical, but it could be mental as well.
No, I didn't see it. My father was actually a real great man. It's just that when I was a kid, I was like 3 years old when this was happening, so I didn't see it. But but when I got older, my mother told me the stories. I heard it from family members and things. How he would. What he was doing, he had multiple women, so it bring conflict. He was caught cheating, and she would tell me the stories of what he was doing, keeping her hostage and hanging her off a 3-story building, dangling by her legs, My mother had to go through things like that, But my father was a good man. He, as we got older, he started to support us, and he did all he can do to.
Maybe it
inspire
was
me.
just doing because most men do it to have control and to scare you. So you could think it's like the way they want it. And if it's not that way, then you have to submit to these certain things that they're gonna do to you. Because I went through something similar and it was a lot of mental abuse where he made me believe nobody else would want me just because I had children, which made no sense because I still have children and one more, and I'm a very beautiful woman, and a lot of people want me. So it's like at the end of the day, those words, they eat you away, they eat you inside, and mentally they break you till you start believing it. So you have to be very strong to break away from it. And I'm honored to have you here today because it's inspiring to me that there's still good people like yourself out there that really want to motivate and help people and save these women. So at the beginning of my show, before we started airing, I went on the live and I said that you are a guardian angel.
Hmm.
And I think you have a purpose in this life, and that is it. You know, you're out here saving lives. And that forever, God is going to be grateful for you, even though if the payback isn't, that person is not grateful of what you did for them. But God is, and He's always going to watch over you and your kids. You told me you had children, so tell me about that, being a father and all.
It changed my life. My oldest, Corey Morrow Jr. He's 17. He plays
Oh,
basketball.
wow, he's big.
Yeah, he's taller than me. He's about 6'2" now. He's 17. I love him. He changed my life. Back when I was being a player, talking to different women, being a womanizer, and doing all those things. I had him at 20. So when I seen, he was a part of my change too. Because when I seen his face, I got a poetry book out too, and in his chapter, I say, you made I can't remember the quote, but it was something like, you made a G feel soft, and you changed my life or something like that. But he was a big part of seeing his face and actually seeing a human that looks like you. It's just something that comes over you. But he's wonderful. I love him. He's very smart. He respects the elderly. He respects women. And my second is Easton McLean. He's 6 and he's albino, so he has green eyes, blonde hair.
Really?
Yeah, he's very beautiful. He's an angel child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I love both of my kids with all my heart. Yeah.
So now that you're this different man, when you're in a relationship now, it's nothing like before. So how do you see life with a woman now? Like, I'm a true believer that if a guy is honest from the beginning, you're giving the girl the right to choose if it's okay to want what you want. Because, sometimes men lie to you in regards to what the situation really is. So they're not giving you a choice because you're falling into like a story, like making fake assumptions or making you believe it's going to be something when it's not. Um, do you believe that being honest to a woman is the real route to go? And it's like more, the woman would agree more with you being honest and lying?
Uh, you know, I have a spiritual take on that, a very godly take. Whether he's manipulating, which most men do, or if he's being honest, I believe that men's just, they should be truthful, but they should be godly when they're speaking to a woman because, it's like a man telling you, hey, I got 3 women, but, I want you to be my 4th. Yeah, he's being real, but that's not right either. So just because he's, and I learned that too when I was younger. I had, 2, 3 women when I was younger. And, they knew I was juggling all 3 of them, but it wasn't right because somebody's going to get in their feelings. Somebody's going to be heartbroken, and it's just not right. The Bible, speaks about, a man being with one woman. You're supposed to be loyal to one person. So that's the only way is the right way. And some guys get mad at that because they want multiple women. They want to be greedy. So you need, so whether you're telling the truth or not, you got to speak the God's truth. Because, you just telling your truth doesn't make it right.
Doesn't make it right. But I feel like you saying it to somebody gives you the option to say no. As of you lying to me and saying, oh, I don't have 4 women. As of you saying I have 4 women. And it is my choice to say, yeah, I want to be the 5th. But I wouldn't submit to that because that's not something I want.
Because you're being upfront. Yeah, I mean, I think that, that's the right way to do it. Just be honest and give her the opportunity to either deal with it or not. Yeah.
Are you in a relationship now?
I'm actually seeing someone, as of recently, from Detroit.
From Detroit.
Yeah.
And do you see yourself with this person like in the future? Do you think you guys are compatible and that she somewhat fit for what you're looking for?
I believe so. She's Christian based. She believes in God. She prays all the time, and I have to have that. If you love God first, and then you love me, I love that. I don't want a woman to be so obsessed with me or in love with me, and don't give God love. So I mean, yeah, she's definitely compatible.
So you believe that if you and your woman are both believers of the Lord, and not only that, both hustlers have the right mindset and loyal to each other, your growth will be much faster and better in life.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. I mean, of course, and the biggest part of that is us both being believers in God. Because if we're not equally yoked, it's unbalanced. You
Yeah,
believe
if
in
the girl's
something.
doing too much or he's doing too little, it's not balanced. You're right. I feel like I want a team player in my life. Somebody that sees what I want and that is supportive of what I want and I will be supportive as well of what he wants.
Yes, yes.
And together we balance each other out. We're not perfect and maybe I have my days and he will have his, but that's why you balance each other out to be better, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
I think my next relationship, I have to base it on that because I went through so much of it, of thinking what this other person wanted, and I wasn't focusing on myself. And I think you have to love yourself more than you love anybody else, and then you can love someone the right way.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Because if you don't love yourself, how can you love somebody else? They'll misuse you, take advantage of you. And that's what happens most of the time. Sometimes women be so in love with a man and they're doing everything for him that their cup is filling up. You're filling his cup up and you're empty. So you need to balance that cup out. Make sure he's loving you back, and then it'll work out. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about your Instagram because when I met you through the Instagram and it caught my eye, all these quotes that you do. Where do you get these quotes from? They come in your head?
Some of them are inspired by a post that I see, and then I write my caption from the thoughts of my head, things that I feel like God is telling me to write, or my experiences. But I have 3 books out that I post also on my page. That
Tell us about the books, where we can find them or buy them.
you can find them on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, my website, CoreyMorrow.com. But my books are self-help books, so they're stories of my life, stories of things that I seen growing up, and most importantly, they're stories that God put into my head. He told me to write those things, and so they're from Him. My books are called Just Listen, King Speaks, Part 1 and Part 2. And when I say King Speaks, people think that it's me, but it's actually God.
Oh, wow, that's nice. I want to read them. Can I get a free one?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I'll definitely bless you.
Yes, I would like to. So tell me about other things that you do besides this. So it seems like you do a lot of mentoring. You also do like seminars and events and stuff.
Yes, yes, yeah. I mean, it could be your church event. It can be a college graduation. It can be I spoke at prisons to inmates. I do little gatherings. You can have a girl gathering. I speak to the men. So it just depends on what you need at that
Have you
time.
ever done like interventions where it's like the family called you in to save the couple?
Uh,
Or never like that? It was somebody.
it was it was the couple, like the man and the woman called me, and I definitely saved the marriage.
You saved the marriages, so
Oh
they
yeah,
listen, right? You gave
oh
them
yeah,
like homework and stuff to do and
yes,
research as far as what to do to make it better.
yes, yes. I balance it out. I give them homework. I tell them where they're wrong. I tell them both where they're wrong, because sometimes things can be one-sided. You got to hear them both out. So when she's talking, you listen. When he talks, you listen, and then we figure it out. Sometimes people just want to be one-sided, and
Yeah, because they
that's the
have their
problem.
mindset, and then maybe I have my mindset. So you think you're right, but I think I'm right. But you
Right.
have to find common grounds and kind of find each other in the middle where it makes you both right. But sometimes, most of the time, men are not right. I don't know. They have a different mindset, especially dating nowadays is so complicated. Um, I don't know what it is that's going on in the world, but most men are just like using women or abusing them. They don't want the commitment. They're dating multiple women. There's no like structure anymore. Like back in the days, it was a little bit better. I mean, it was not the best, but it's better than it was better than now. Now I don't understand what it is. This new
Well,
generation.
just not to cut you off, but the Bible speaks about that the last days this stuff will be happening. So I just, I like to turn everything back to the Bible and God. You got these women, they're not stuck in the house anymore. They're working. They're making a
Yes,
lot of money, and
more successful than most men nowadays. Now the women took over. Like,
so a lot of guys, they can't take that. They see that, so they kick back. So they're turning into the new women. They're putting on the apron, washing the dishes and cleaning the house and watching the woman be the man. So that's the problem. These men are getting lazy. And so, these men need to stand up, be true men, take care of the house, take care of the woman, etc. But, it's just the roles are being reversed. I know men will get in their feelings about that, but it's what's happening. We see it, these men wearing heels, and I'm not trying to offend anyone,
yeah.
but it's just a lot of that going on, and they're making it okay, and it's not.
Tell me about a situation in your career where you feel that you did the best work. Like, I know every situation is a win for you, but like you felt like you really saved this woman out of the situation that was really bad. Like, even if it had to do with her kids. I know you mentioned before about this other girl, but something where you felt like, wow, like I really changed her life around.
Well, there's so many, but it was a situation. It was actually on the East Coast. I had a lot of situations in the New York area. Um, it was a woman that was head over heels for this guy, and she had a nice looking daughter. They had kids and they were growing up, and
So this was his daughter with her, or was it by herself with someone else, and then she remarried him,
she didn't marry him. It was
like
her.
boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yeah,
Living.
boyfriend and girlfriend. They were living together, and this was her daughter by someone else.
Yeah.
But this guy was around for a long time, and she was telling me the story, starting off with the sessions, how the daughter walks around with booty shorts and
Yeah.
things like that. And I was telling her that's a no. But as I was coaching her, I told her to start look for things because things didn't sound right. She was being drugged to go to sleep early. So, and the daughter had got of age where she was about 14, 15, and she was helping the guy drug the mother to go to sleep early so they can have intercourse. And so, she had a younger daughter that had caught them in the kitchen doing what they were doing, and she ran and woke the mother up out to sleep. And so the mother found out, and she didn't have the strength at first, but she ended up kicking him out and filing a police report. And the police wouldn't do anything because she had no proof. But we kept looking and we kept praying, and she ended up going up in the attic and finding the tape. He was recording her since she was like 8 years old.
Oh my God.
8 years old on to when she was 16, and she got the recording. So her getting that recording, he ended up, I helped her mentally press charges on him, and I think he got like 30 years. He's still in there. And but the daughter was pregnant, and she ended up having a kid. And
By him. And the little girl was in love with him in
Yeah,
her
yeah.
mind, right? But
Yeah.
then did she understand it was wrong at one
no,
point?
she didn't, because she was still supporting him and going to see him in prison.
So she didn't want to do nothing with the mom?
No, but
Oh my God,
yeah.
that's so
But
sad.
the good thing is that we was able to get charges pressed against him.
Yeah, to make sure he doesn't do it to another young lady.
You know.
Yeah, a lot of that goes on, especially when you have partners that are not the dad. Even the dad, I've seen it happen before. These women have children, especially young ladies, and then they're growing up, and then they find with the partner that starts molesting the children or doing stuff to her, and they don't speak up, And that's sad because that has to be a really fucking dirtbag to do something like that to
Yeah.
a young lady, and it's sad, very sad. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I would
pretty.
hate him for life.
Yeah, that's why you got to be careful who you bring your kids around and who you let move in with you.
Yeah, so recently, after my divorce, I just decided to have my house, and if I have a partner, I can see him at his house, and keep my kids separate from everything, because my kids are bigger, so it's kind of hard to introduce someone new to bigger kids,
Right.
because they're overprotective of me, and I'm pretty sure you, with your kids, they're
Oh, yeah.
older. They don't want to just meet anybody. They're gonna find little things that bothers them because they don't want you with just anyone. They want to protect us, especially the boys. But I'm very blessed. My children are all good kids. They're entrepreneurs. They work. They keep busy. I give them their space, but not enough. because I don't want them to go through certain things that I went through. Like, I went through a lot of stuff growing up, you know, it made me a powerful woman today, but damn, did I really have to go through that to be this woman? But not everybody has my mindset. I know a lot of women that are destroyed and they haven't even went by a quarter of what I went through. And they're on drugs, or they're not successful in life. They're very depressed. They let men step all over them. And it's sad because it shouldn't be that way. There's help. There's people like him that are willing to help you. And that's the blessing, because, you know, to find someone like yourself that actually cares. Because there's a lot of centers here and stuff, but I don't know. It's not the same. Like, I get you're a man and then you come from the street because you were that guy before.
Yeah.
You were not abusive, but you were dating different women, so you know the mindset. So now you deal with women and then you're this different guy and you could explain, this is not right. I was that person and you could be this way. You can find a man like me that respects you and honors you and that is willing to be there for you the right way.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and everyone can't do the job, and I appreciate you saying that, because, you know, these are very vulnerable women and beautiful women, you know, wealthy women, and some people will, you know, naturally minded people that lean on their own understanding will take advantage of these people. But I lean on God, and I lean on my spiritual side, which that's why I'm able to, you know, keep the balance and help people make the right decisions without crossing boundaries.
Yes, because you're around all these women, but they're vulnerable too. And you're a handsome guy, so it could be that they're falling into you, and you also don't want that because you were there to coach them, not to abuse of the situation, because then that would make you just as bad as this other guy.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
So, you know, you have to stand strong, and
That's
to
why
do this type of job, it's a little complicated, right?
No, it is. It's very complicated, but God made me for it. You know, it's my purpose. It's what I was designed for, and that's why I talk so much about God. Mm-hmm. Because without Him, I will lean on my own understanding. I want to, you know, misuse her, and that's what I was doing when I was younger. I was running away from God, and that's why I was doing all those bad things. But once I chose Him, you know, I was able to still make money, still make good choices, be a great father, etc. But you just have to make God the first thing that you go to.
Exactly. So tell us a nice message for my audience that you want to deliver to them that is inspiring, because my show is called Empower Hour, and I always give a nice message to my audience from my guests, and I want them to remember you by these words, something that they can remember you forever. You're good at that.
I would say, you know, put all your trust into God and not man. You know, whether, you know, and the same thing, vice versa to men. Put all your trust into God and not women. You know, don't lean on anything natural. You know, no matter what it is. You know, if your natural side is telling you to do something that is not right, if something is telling you to do something bad, you know, pray. You know, get down on your knees, protect your family, your children, all to God. You know, I give nothing else to praise but God. So I want you guys to remember me by thinking about God.
That's nice. Thank you so much. Amen to that. Thank you for coming. I'm honored again to have you here today.
Thank you.
I want to still stay in contact with you. I might use your service as well, because we all need someone in our life that we could talk to that's out of the box from your circle of people. And like I said, I'm grateful for you coming all the way from Chicago. He came all the way to Empower Hour, so I'm making it big.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Bye. Thank you for watching Empower Hour, guys.